Hello beautiful person, welcome back to the channel. In this video we're going to be breaking down my song Smoke, which at the time of recording this has like a little over 12,000 streams on Spotify, which is pretty cool. If you want more breakdowns, keep supporting my Spotify. Every song that gets over 1,000 I'll eventually break down, but I'll do the ones that get there faster first, or the ones that just have a bunch more than 1,000. So there's a couple of those that I owe you guys in general. Not too much more else to say. Follow my Spotify playlist down below. There's also submission links down there, 100% free, no payola. Check out my 14 drum kit down there below. It's also free. It's got sounds for my placements and viral beats. Enough talking, let's get into the video. So the very first thing we have is this melody right here. And this is from the DAILYS loop kit. It's a loop kit I dropped last year with my homie Millie One. And I did just do this thing. Well, let me just let you guys hear it first. I'll tell you all that. So the effects were not too crazy with that. Right here on the actual track, it's just a very simple EQ, high pass, low pass. It was literally just the preset with the cuts on it. It says default now, but I'm pretty sure, because I used to use this one a lot, it was a 20 hertz plus 18K hertz cut. And I just reduced it to these parameters right here, about 180 hertz right here. Trying to find that fundamental character, then EQ out the rest of the low. And especially because the bass ends up carrying a lot of that, a lot of the power in this beat, I wanted to make sure that was clear. And then just a little bit of low passing on that high end just to get rid of those high end artifacts. And then I did do a reverb send to give it a little bit of reverb. I used to do my sends a little bit differently, and you can do it like this. If you don't know about sends and buses and stuff like that, check out the description down below. Scroll all the way down to the bottom where you'll see like a bunch of brain emojis under a heading called full guides. It's got a signal flow guide down there below. It's gonna make your mixing sound amazing. There's also a lot of other guides down there as well. But yeah, this is just a reverb send to basically duplicate the signal of the melody, but then make a completely wet version of it with reverb. And then I did the same thing with delay for that as well. So that's how that went. And then the thing that I was gonna say is that I'm doing something for my channel members now, where every month I will just give you all of my loops. So no matter how many loop kits I get, you will just have access to all of them. The loops that I send out to people, whether it's loop kits or stuff that I'm sending out to people, starters, anything it is, and that's available to every tier, regardless of which tier you get. I just launched the first set of packs today. I'll link the video down below if you're a member and you haven't seen that yet. But anyways, moving on from that, I want to talk about the next aspect of this melody, and it's actually the bass. So this came from the sample that Millie One made as well. So if we could just solo that really quickly and take a listen. That shit is crazy, dude. So nothing too crazy in terms of effects, I believe, if I can remember correctly. Yeah, it's literally just a little bit of a dip on the high end, right? You can't even really call that a low pass. Nothing crazy. And it came from the sample. That sample is crazy. This entire sample pack, which is actually what I have open here right now, is absolutely insane. All right, and so I have one more thing in terms of melody, and it's this cowbell melody here. So let's go ahead. So in fact, let's just solo them individually. So let's just do this one first. So maybe I added that second one just to like do some pace keeping. So then let's bring in that second one and see how it kind of adds to the bounce. And then in terms of effects for the cowbell, there's nothing too crazy here. I don't have this isotope plugin, whatever it was. I'm pretty sure it was an EQ though. So it was probably like an old version of isotope. So I just duplicated that. Again, it's just high pass, low pass, pretty simple stuff. Just cutting out some of those frequencies that I don't really want. I added some chorus right here with just these presets, and then some reverb with these presets here. And then I took this and I sent it over to my sends as well, but these aren't bus sends because as you can see, there's a signal being sent to the master as well. So that's pretty simple. So here's how the cowbell sounds with the melody. And then I never had the cowbell going at the same time as the bass because I felt like that made things sound too cluttered. This ended up being a pretty minimalistic beat, all things considered. I can't remember where I got this from, but it's a pretty standard like funk loop. You're gonna find something like this, or maybe even this exact one in a lot of funk kits that you download, you could literally go to like our drum kits on Reddit or something, or just like anybody who makes a free funk kit, whether you're looking for it on YouTube or Google, you're probably going to find, if not this, something very comparable. And I did get this from a free funk kit. I do remember that. So here's what that sounds like. So here's the effects, because I did add quite a few effects to that and you can kind of hear it. So here's what it sounds like with no effects. Let's do that first. With no send or anything like that. That's what it sounds like. Then we send it. And then so if we can go through all of these effects really quickly, we'll turn them on one by one so you can see how they kind of add to the sauce. The first one is this gross beat right here. And this is what it does. Then I added another gross beat that was doing some side chaining. Not really side chaining, but like volume automation. But it's like simulating a little bit of a side chain. Then I have another gross beat basically doing some more volume automation. And that's really beginning to like make the Vox kind of follow the bounce of the drums, which is what I was going for. And then we just have a bunch of EQs. So I did some high passing there. And then this EQ didn't actually even do anything. I just had it on. And then just another EQ. So it was only one EQ. I actually don't know why I had 3 EQs on there. I don't know. Maybe I was like trying to be extra safe or some shit like that. But yeah, it's really just this one EQ that kind of like tightened everything up. Again, I really just wanted to EQ out that low end. And then so here's what that sounds like with the melody. That shit is crazy, bro. So the next section that I want to talk about is the drums. And the first part of the drums that I want to talk about here is the 808. Let's take a look at that pattern really quickly. I think this 808 is in the centerfold drum kit. But yeah, 3 simple notes here. So it's literally just one tension note, and that's for dissonance. And then this is like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a 6, the 5th. I don't even fucking know. Like I don't know music theory that deep. It just ended up sounding good. So, and so that's just down an octave instead. And then no effects on the 808. I'm pretty sure it might have been, yeah, not even a fucking like a dip on the high end. It literally was just dry in there like that. Went in raw. So then we have the drums right here. So let's solo that really quickly. Let's take a look at all of these drums. So it starts with this kick. Then we add this snare. Then we add this first open hat, and that's hitting with the snare every 2 bars. Then we add the second open hat. And then the last thing we added was this hi-hat, and it's like a super basic pattern right here. I did end up sending some of my drums to this reverb send. I wouldn't normally do that. I'd usually have like a separate drum room verb send for my stuff now, but this was an older beat when I was just getting into the whole engineering concept of using sends, buses, the whole idea of signal flow in general. So that's how I did that. But you know, now I do it a little bit differently, but I did want to show you that some of my drums, not all of them, were sent to the reverb send as well in order to give them a little bit of width. The open hat, both open hats, hi-hat and stuff like that. And then I would reduce the amount of gain that was being sent to them depending on the sample and depending on kind of what texture I wanted. But as you can see, not all of them, like the kick is not being sent there, but I think like the snare is, and I reduced the gain a little bit. So there's a couple of more things that I want to talk about in this beat. The first one is this Manny Fresh effects that I had in certain parts of the beat, and it helped with structuring and arrangement. Also, it added a kind of like texture and flavor to the beat. It helped with the funk kind of like flavoring that I was giving it, but it gave it something else. And I'm kind of drawing a blank on the word that I want to use right now. So I'll just go with like texture. It created this atmosphere and it just gave it a little bit more oomph. So certain sections. And And then the same thing with that turn me up effects right there, that Vox, which I kind of use as my tag, really, but not really. I just like the energy that it brings to beats whenever I add it. I won't add it in every single beat. So that's how these two come together. And that's absolutely crazy. And then the last thing I want to talk about is the bathroom reverb effects. Now, I use this a lot, and I'm starting to see that like the beats that do really good tend to have this. And so I was talking about it in the last video when I was breaking down Untouchable, is that you didn't need that whole patcher preset that I showed you to do the whole bathroom effects. You can literally just take this reverb with these settings and put it on your master, boom, like that. And then all you have to do is automate it like this so that it turns off like whenever you don't want it on anymore. And then that's how this sounds. So just literally just copy these presets and you'll be good to go. That shit is absolutely crazy, man. Absolutely crazy. Okay, so now let's talk promo. There's a bunch of different ways that you can promote your music in order to get Spotify streams. You can build your own brand. Check out my website, dopecontentonly.net. Go to the homepage, scroll down to free products, download the content creator course, build your brand so that you can attract people to your music. They listen to it, they fall in love with you, they fall in love with your music, you make money, smile. And there's a bunch of different things you could do, right? I don't really care about talking about any of that shit today. Specifically, I just want to talk about playlisting. And honestly, I don't even want to talk about playlisting, really. I just want to give you some playlists that I use that help me grow, especially with the song Smoke. These are some of the playlists that help me grow. They take submissions for free. They don't do payola. And they're very honest and they check their playlists and update them frequently. There are people who don't do payola who genuinely care about the beats, but they don't do a lot of playlist upkeep. These people do not fall into that category. So the first person I want to tell you about is Definition Productions. He does the Definition playlist. Really, really good stuff. And I'll link all of this down below so that you guys can have access to them. It's free submissions. You literally just go submit. He's got a bunch of different vibes. I like to submit to his gym beats playlist the most, just because that's kind of the style that I produce in. But he's got a bunch of different vibes, so it's not just hard trap beats. So that's a really good place to submit. The second curator that I want to put you on is Treby. Now he runs like some of the biggest trap playlists, period. Like this one in particular, I'm pointing at the screen like you can see it. This one, rap beats and freestyle beats and stuff like that, is like the biggest trap beats playlist on Spotify right now. It's even bigger and gets more traction than the curated one. So it's very, very incredible. He does free submissions. He does not do payola, and he's literally going through these one by one every week. It's kind of crazy. Bro has 200,000 monthly, it's like 300,000 monthly listeners. He's got all these playlists with hundreds of thousands of followers, and he's literally going through every submission and he's not charging people. Really, really good stuff. If you've got bangers, this is the place you want to be submitting, because if you can get on one of these playlists, you can go from 6 monthly listeners to 1,000 overnight. Like I'm not going to cap to you, especially if your shit is hard. And all you got to do is drop consistently from that point. And then the last ones, of course, is just my playlist, Energetic Trap Beats playlist and Dark Trap Beats playlist, which is still not launched yet, but it'll be launching probably next week. So links down below if you want to submit to my playlist. I'm not going to glaze myself too much more. You guys already know how that goes. So submit to playlists, like make bangers, basically. Learn, like take what you learn from this, make bangers, and then submit them to playlists, get streams, make money, smile, repeat. This was a really fun breakdown. I hope you guys learned something from it. I hope that you guys continue to learn something from these, because I have a lot of fun making them. If you guys want more of these, again, just help me run it up on Spotify. But yeah, I'm going to get out of here. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.